David Daniel Ducker here, and today we're talking about characters. What is a character in the context of story, in the context of storytelling, and how to write them? The two are intertwined. If you know what they are and what they need to do, then writing them is pretty easy. If you don't know why they are there, why they exist as a concept and a tool, then you might not know what to do with them at all. So, what is a character? A character is a plot device. Everything in your story is a plot device. It's something that serves the plot, that brings you towards the climax. It takes you on this emotional journey. So, you have to look at it that way. All of the ingredients have to serve a role in your goal, which is telling a story. Stephen King said, don't be so concerned with what a story is that you forget what a story does. What a story does is it entertains. It's a work of entertainment. So that's it. That's what you're doing. You're making a piece of entertainment, and everything is a tool to achieve that goal of entertaining your audience. The characters are a tool, the setting is a tool, the plot is a tool. These are all tools. The prose is a tool, your pacing is a tool, your formatting can be a tool, whether it's a novel or a series or a short story or a flash fiction. That's one of the tools in your arsenal, is how you structure your story as well. So I want to say that off the bat. Now, the tool of a character, what is the character? What is their role as a tool serving your story? They are a couple things, but primarily they are a source of pathos, of emotional attachment and caring about your story. The characters are what will get your readers and your audience invested in the story. If the story is very clever and well written and really gets people thinking and exercises their brain, like, that's great, but it's not going to be as effective without the emotional attachment. If they don't care about why the story is happening, who the story is happening to, there's no emotion in the story, then it doesn't matter how intricate and complex and well woven that story is, because nobody cares. You might as well read a history textbook, a fictional history textbook, which is even more niche and more likely to be boring than a real history textbook, which people don't even read anyway. But by having this character to attach to, you get people invested, and they will follow that journey, and they'll appreciate all the other intricacies more, because they want to see how it affects this person that they care about. Fictional person, yes, still a person. Emotionally, it's still a person. So that's the number one role of a character, is to have pathos and connection and emotion, right? And how do they achieve that? They achieve that through sympathy, through being relatable, through being believable. Your audience might not believe your setting, they might not believe your story, but they need to believe that your characters are real. They need to see this person and say, yep, that's a real person. I believe that this person could exist, they can exist, they have existed. It's something they can invest in, is that character, right? So believability, but also relatability. If they can say, I have felt that way before, I understand what this character is thinking and feeling, I have an emotional sympathy with them. Maybe they're insecure and I'm also insecure. Maybe they're shy and I'm also shy. And they're struggling with their shyness in the same way that I have struggled with my shyness in the past. And that builds this bond. And maybe in real life, you've conquered that issue and you're not shy anymore. and the character hasn't. You want them to overcome this challenge. Or maybe in real life you haven't dealt with that issue, but by watching the character overcome that, you could possibly take something away and it could help you deal with that issue in your life. That's a wonderful, amazing thing about fiction is they can help you in your real life as well, right? So pathos, that's the goal of the character. How do you establish it? Believability, the characters need to be really believable, and relatability, they need to be relatable, which are interlocked to a large degree, right? So that's all kind of the first part of the character. The second thing you need a character for is as the lens through which the audience sees your story and your setting. They are a vehicle. They're the car that you get into to take this road trip. So your audience will be viewing the world through the eyes of this character. The character will color everything and give them a lens to look through into your world and into the story. So that is very like the narrative structure. That's kind of how you're going to reveal the story and the setting and the exposition and the other characters. How you're going to reveal all that to the audience is through the lens of your character, your main characters, and to see, I have this great thing about my setting. How can I show that to the audience through the lens of this main character? Um, the thing that pops in my head is Game of Thrones. George Martin has Valeria sinking into the ocean and creating the steaming sea. So he has this cool thing about his world. How does he show that to the audience, the readers? Well, he has some of the main characters sail past the steaming sea, and then they can see it and they can be like, oh my God, like what is going on over there? The ocean is bubbling and steaming and boiling and glowing. It's like glowing from underneath the ocean. That's wild. And the characters can get very scared of this, right? And that's just George's way of taking the element, passing it through the characters to the readers. And that's how they focus as a lens, as a point of view for your audience. And same way with your stories. George R. R. Martin has the return of the others, and the long night is coming, perhaps. So how can he show this to the audience, all this lore and all this story and this change? Well, he introduces the character of Jon Snow. Jon Snow goes up north. He learns about the Night's Watch. He learns about the others. He learns about the wildlings. And as he learns, the audience learns. He's somewhat of an audience surrogate in that regard. And that's fine. That's a great character to have. There's nothing wrong with that character and that trope. And of course, with Jon, you also have all this pathos and relatability. He's an outcast from his family. And then he thought he had this great job lined up for the Night's Watch, and it turns out to not be the job that he thought it was. And I think we can all relate to that. We've all felt like an outcast from our family at times, from some part of our family. And we've all gone to work and had to do something we didn't want to do, or had a work situation that was not what we thought it would be. And Jon Snow has both of those, and a lot of people can relate to that. And they can say, I relate to Jon Snow. I like this character. I want to see what happens to him. And with that pathos, we then follow the setting and the story of the others returning and the wildling invasion and all of that good stuff. And Jon also has bullying at his workplace. I'm going to call the Night's Watch his workplace. And we've all experienced bullying as well. I know that for a fact because I've experienced bullying. And I'm not a good person that you want to bully. I'm 6'3", I'm 270, and I'm who would bully me? But it's happened. It happens, infrequently, but it does. So I know you've been bullied, because if it happens to me, it can happen to anybody. Because Who would bully me? That's so stupid. But they do. So I know there's bullies everywhere against everyone, and even against Jon Snow. And so I can relate to that. And he stands up to them in various ways that maybe I wish I had done, or that I'm proud of him for doing, because I have done some of those things. I'm proud that he did them too, because they work. And in other ways, it's like, well, I wish I could decapitate some of my bullies. That's like a wish fulfillment thing a lot of people have. It's not a morally good thing to decapitate anyone, but we all have that desire, the little imp of the perverse telling us like, oh yeah, we should decapitate this person. This person deserves to be decapitated. So anyway, that's a long illustration, but those are the two main facets of character. Pathos, so the audience cares about the story, which you establish through relatability and believability. Not likability. They don't have to like the main character. They just have to believe him. And they have to relate to him somehow. And you can have multiple main characters to achieve that, but they don't have to like them. They will still care about the story, even if they dislike the main character or one of the main characters. A lot of authors get so hung up on, oh, is my main character likable? And it doesn't matter. If they're believable and they suit your plot and your setting, and they're a great lens, and they have pathos, whether it's good or bad pathos, if they have pathos, then mission accomplished. Don't worry if they're likable. Because what I like might not be what you like, and it might not be what Andrew likes. Everyone likes different things about different people. You might not like me. I might not like you. But I like me, and a lot of people like me, and I'm sure a lot of people like you too. I just might not be one of them. And it's the same way with the fictional characters. I've read books. Let's bring back Game of Thrones. I don't like Arya Stark. I really don't like her. I find her like very annoying, and it just rubs me the wrong way. A lot of people love that character. She's like their favorite character, her number one character. And I don't even like her. Like, it's a chore for me to read her chapters. So is she a likable character? I don't know. Not to me, but to you, probably. A lot of people do seem to like her. Is she believable and well written and relatable? Yes. Even though I don't like her, I can acknowledge I have felt some of the emotions that she has felt. I've been in some of the situations that she's been in to some degree. And so that's an effective character, whether I like her or not. I'm going to be able to follow her story, even though I don't really like her that much. And then I'm going to have other characters I can like. And of course, in Game of Thrones, there's hundreds of characters. So you're bound to like some of them. And maybe your novel doesn't have hundreds of characters, but it's going to have a few. And as long as the characters aren't super, super similar, you'll have a broad overlap. You don't need to worry about it. If everything else is on point, then the likability of your characters is a very small factor in your success. So I think that's all I have to say about characters. In the comments, did I miss anything, misinterpret, misrepresent anything? What do you think about characters? Do a video response. And until I see you again, David Daniel Ducker signing off.